Travel for the first time to Africa next week with visits to Chad, Djibouti, Nigeria, Ethiopia and Kenya. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson's visit from the 6th to the 13th of March will include visits with the leadership of the African Union in Addis Ababa, while focusing on ways to strengthen mutual interests with the region.
Tillerson's visit will be the most high-profile since the administration of President Donald Trump took office more than a year ago, and after the president allegedly made derogatory remarks about Africa during private discussions on immigration at the White House in January. Tillerson's spokesperson explained the purpose of the visit.
Secretary Tillerson will meet up with leadership in each country, as well as the leadership of the African Union Commission based in Ethiopia, to further our partnerships with the governments and the people of Africa. In particular, he plans to discuss ways that we can work with our partners to counter terrorism, advance peace and security, promote good governance, and spur mutually beneficial trade and investment. During the trip, he'll also meet with U.S. Embassy personnel and participate in events related to the U.S. government-supported activities there.
This is not the first trip to the region by a senior Trump administration official following the visit by UN Ambassador Nikki Haley to the DRC, South Sudan and Ethiopia in October last year.
The United States regards itself as a partner to Africa and looks to build on that relationship and strengthen it. And in a relationship of equals, responsibility falls on both parties to contribute to solutions. We applaud and encourage the increasing leadership the African Union and African member states have exercised in contributing to peace operations and battling terrorist and insurgent groups. And today, we reaffirm the African Union's role as an indispensable partner to both the United States and the United Nations in promoting peace and security in Africa.
The Secretary of State also hosted a group of African ministers in Washington last November, where he outlined Washington's policy goals in Africa.
This administration seeks to refocus our economic relationships squarely on trade and investment, to encourage policies that increase openness and competition within Africa. A more economically vibrant and competitive Africa will grow the middle class, increase standards of living, and make the entire continent more prosperous.
He's expected to encourage democratic transitions of power, address corrupt and weak governance in some African countries, while seeking to strengthen partnerships in combating terrorism.
The United States also stands with you as we work to defeat the scourge of terrorism and violent extremism, which have taken so many innocent lives in Africa and across the world. That will be our final topic of discussion today. We're particularly grateful for the work of African countries to expand multinational and regional cooperation to counter terrorism. The United States is committed to partnering with you to defeat ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other terrorist groups across your continent.
Sit down, please.
It's a visit that will be closely watched as the Trump administration tries to unshackle itself from the negative perceptions that surround U.S. relations with Africa, particularly in light of the derogatory remarks attributed to the president and the now defunct travel ban that excluded the citizens of several African countries from traveling to the United States for several months last year, and how Trump's America First policy resonates in Africa will likely be one of Tillerson's tough sells to the region. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.